Hi and welcome to NWTV.biz. We make online corporate interview videos for Northwest UK business. This is a regular show highlighting forward-thinking successful companies in our area. We have massive social media reach and all our videos are highlighted on YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and bookmarking sites like StumbleUpon and Dig and many others. We have 2 studios, a relaxed couch setting or a green screen, and the latest video editing technology to add logos and other details to the production. In each episode, every guest must give us a top tip so we can all benefit from what's working for them. So if you're interested in our services, get in touch. This morning, we welcome to the studio Basil Gillett from Risk Safety Associates, who runs a successful health and safety consultancy. He tells us why it is essential that every business, no matter what size, should actively manage health and safety so that it not only meets its legal obligations, but more importantly, makes it less likely for things to go wrong in the first place. Welcome to the studio, Basil Gillett from Risk Safety Associates.
Hello there.
Okay, so Risk Safety Associates is your company?
It is, yes.
Okay, you've been established since October 2011?
Yes.
But you've had plenty of experience, haven't you? Tell us a little bit about how you started a long time ago.
Well, not that long ago, I like to think. 23 years in banking in London. Went to the Channel Islands also for a few years. Then there was change of career. For various reasons, namely children. I wanted to be near my children, so I took 1 year out to become a company secretary. So qualified as company secretary, and that was in 1999. Right. And then lucky enough to come up to the Northwest, where I joined a hotel company and became their company secretary. But a company secretary is a person who does everything that other people don't do or aren't pigeonholed or have a title for. So I took over a lot of the work for the health and safety of this company. It grew from 1 hotel to 9.
Wow.
And so in that expansion I developed all their procedures, policies, and dealt with a number of other things for them as well. But mainly health and safety.
Okay, so were you talking sometimes with insurance companies as well at the same time?
A lot of time. Being the industry that it was, there were a number of occasions where we had claims or people coming in saying, they've had an accident or something in the hotel. Dealt a number of occasions with our insurance company. In those kind of
and you a lot of the time, because of the strong health and safety policy that you had implemented, you'd managed to ward off any sort of claims. Is that what happened?
Absolutely, because we were very strong in our health and safety, had all the policies, procedures in place, and training is one of the important things that needs to be done. We were very good at being able to defend claims, and we probably received 2-3 claims a month across the 9 hotels, and we very rarely actually had to pay any compensation. Yeah, very strong. So
with these health and safety policies, when you have a strong health and safety policy, you find that the positives are things like staff morale, that kind of thing, and there's profit in that, obviously.
There's a lot of positives for having a good health and safety policy. I like to sort of put them under 3 banners. There's the moral, the legal and economic. The moral, as you alluded to, staff morale. If you're actually looking after your staff well, they will respect that and they understand it. And also, if you enforce it, positive enforcement, through the training, through picking up, actually they respond very well. And they start taking care of themselves and looking after themselves, which is part of what they have to do under the various laws and regulations. So we had a good, strong, positive health and safety outlook. So that's sort of the moral side of it. The economic follows that through. If you're actually keeping your staff safe, and also your guest visitors, you're not going to have any accidents. Because accidents will lead to time off work. If a member of your staff, has an accident, a slip, trip, fall or whatever, They could be off for some time.
Right.
You'll then have to start paying them statutory sick pay. Again, if it's long term, you could then lose productivity. The economics go on, not just the direct costs, but indirect costs. Yeah. We talked also about the criminal side of things, and that's for two sides, civil and the criminal law.
Okay.
Civil is you could get sued by someone wanting compensation from you.
Wow.
It's a cost. Okay. It's a cost for you, or literally your profit and loss, money to be paid out, may be covered by your insurance. You'd have also time to investigate. You could then also have time if it's a serious incident. And on the criminal side, if you have a serious accident, your business could be closed. Again, the enforcement authorities could close your business down. They could give you a prohibition notice, which actually means you have to stop everything that you're doing there and then. So all this could cost your business dearly. You, as a director or owner or even a manager, could be criminally prosecuted. Corporate Manslaughter Act is now in there. It's being used more and more frequently as a tool by the authorities, and there have been a number of recent cases where not directors but owners of businesses have been prosecuted. Jail sentences have been given. So that's it, your business.
Wow.
And you.
Goodness. So in your long career in health and safety, you must have seen some really obvious mistakes, possibly in, say, hotels?
Certainly in hotels. Some quite frightening ones. And again, I've seen it in 2 hotels. And this is in the northwest, so goodness knows what's happening around the country. But where they don't even have adapted evacuation procedures. So if there is some kind of emergency, a fire, the staff wouldn't know what to do because it's not written down and they haven't been trained. So the seriousness of that could be enormous. And in fact, there have been cases. There was a hotel in the southwest of England where a fire started, and again it was arson. 3 people lost their life in that particular instance. And that was because the hotel owners hadn't input and done what they should have done in terms of keeping their guests safe.
Okay.
So either hadn't, again, had proper procedures put in place, but also they hadn't done and put in, fire alarms, and people died because A, they couldn't hear the alarm, B,
they didn't know where to go.
They didn't know where to go, and also on the emergency routes, there were suitcases in place. The emergency routes weren't being kept clear. Another occasion, again, a hotel in London, again, had a fire. Everybody was evacuated safely, but then the fire brigade went in to investigate afterwards, i.e. to establish what happened. Why did the fire happen? And again, because of lack of formal procedures, the owners were fined, and the cost of the fine, total including all fees and court costs, was £212,000.
So when you go to a hotel, do you check you look on the back door and say, this is where I go with a fire experience?
I do.
It takes a couple of minutes, doesn't it?
It is.
It could save your life.
It will save your life. Always go in, look at the back of the door, and find out where the emergency exits are. Okay. It will save your life, because at 2:00 in the morning, when you're asleep and tired, and it's dark, you need to know where to go.
Okay. Yeah. So back into sort of smaller offices where most of our viewers are coming from.
Yeah.
What sort of things do you find in offices?
The offices, again, it's probably slips, trips, falls, or bang into things. And again, it can be simple things or stupid things. Yeah. You see, open drawers. A filing cabinet with a drawer left open at the bottom. Okay. People are going to walk into it and they're going to trip and fall of it. So sometimes it's actually just very simple things that you need to do, or the staff need to do. But unless they're told about it or made aware of it, they don't think about it through a policy, through training, through awareness, right. And also tripping over wires. It's all these simple things,
okay.
But people tend to forget about. So
That's
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Okay, so you're actually doing a half-day audit at the moment for companies in the Northwest. Tell us a little bit about what that involves and how companies can get you in to do that for them.
Okay. What I want to try and do for everybody is ensure that they are safe and legal. So I'll come in, I'll spend half a day with them. It's £150. So it's two aspects. It's looking at the paperwork, it's looking at the practicalities of the office, going away, writing a full report for them. So that report will highlight any shortcomings. It will also highlight if they're doing everything absolutely 100% properly. Great, I will tell them that and be, glad to sort of, wave that flag for them as well.
Okay.
But it's mainly to set against what they're doing, against the existing laws and legislation, and also best practices, reporting to them and giving them advice on any follow-up work that's required.
Okay, and then later on you could help them set these practices into place and give them training about this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I can offer a full package of either fully implementing their procedures, policies, ways of working, best practices, and then help them with their training. But it also makes sense for them, because you can have as many bits of paper as you want, but if they're sitting on a shelf just gathering dust, it's absolutely a pointless exercise. I mean, what I try and make sure with all my clients is actually they have what I'd like to call as a living document. It actually is not just a document to keep them legal, but are they using it for the benefit of them and also their staff.
Okay.
So then after that I can follow up, put those procedures in place. But one thing that I will ensure is that whatever follow-up action is required is specifically for that business. Okay. So whatever I do for them will be, tailor-made for their
that's
business.
one of your unique selling points, isn't it, over say other companies, that you're going to go in and do it for their companies, not an off-the-shelf sort of template.
You're absolutely right. I will give them what they need for their business. There are a number of other firms out there who will just give you a template which they've prepared. All that you will do is put your name on it. It's not made for your business. There'll be parts of it in there which are totally irrelevant and other parts that are potentially missing. So what I will give is all the paperwork. This is the policies, the risk assessments, ways of working. They will be specific to your business.
Okay, great. So have you got a top tip for us, for our NWTV viewers? What's working for you in business?
Top tip will be following up the lead. I found that it takes a long time to actually get the business. So from an initial meeting, you'll find that a number of companies or individuals won't actually make a decision then. They'll have to think about it.
Sure.
So it's follow up. Always make sure that you follow up a meeting or a phone call or however you communicated. Don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
Because all people are busy.
Yeah.
They've got other things to do. We're just one element of their whole business. And so they're trying to make the sale. They're trying to do that. I'm coming in to try and help them on their health and safety. So whatever business you're in and whatever you're trying to offer your client, you need to follow it up. It could take 2 or 3 meetings, but also, do follow up on phone calls. Always be there for them and, remind them of where you are.
Fantastic.
Never give up.
Never give up,
Yeah.
That's true. So regarding your half-day audit, what sorts of companies can really benefit from this?
Every company.
Okay. What size per employees? How many?
Well, the law says that if you employ 5 or more or have 5 or more employees, you have to have written risk assessment, written systems of work. All your policies have to be in writing. So anybody who has 5 or more employees can use the benefit from having the half-day audit. So even if you have 4 employees, you still have to still go through and do your risk assessments, have policies in place, because your obligation is still always to keep your people safe. You might not have to have it in writing, but you still need to offer these things. So even if you're a small business, it's still worth considering the half-day audit. I will still always make the suggestion that you need to review it and have it looked at.
Okay, super. So if your company needs a half-day audit and you feel that your staff needs the morale and you need to keep your employees safe and anybody who's visiting your premises, you need to get in touch with Basil Gillett from Risk Safety Associates. His contact details are on the screen right now. Thanks, Basil, for coming into the show.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.